Chris Brush here for chrisbrushdrums.com once again. This is a follow-up video demonstrating my premixing session add-on for recorded drum tracks. Premixing involves taking the drums I recorded and processing them with gear and or plugins to tailor the sounds even further to fit the client's song. In the end, the client gets both the original raw recorded tracks and a smaller subset of mixed drum track stems that can be used in their mix, saving the client time and assuring them of great drum sounds regardless of their mixing experience. That's the broad overview. You should probably watch the previous premixing video we did. It's on the premixing page of the website. It offers a lengthier and more in-depth explanation of the concept. The production values alone will probably make you want to tear your eyes out of your sockets from celebratory weeping. Not really. This time, we were working on some tracks we recorded on the song We Are for a group called New Fire. The group's producer and frontman, Jonathan Fiery, produced the drum tracking session via VPN, and we did a little video on that too, since it's a pretty cool way to record me remotely from anywhere. You can check that out also on the website. In case I forgot, thanks, John, for letting me show the process using your tracks. The group is hiring me to mix the singles on the upcoming album, and Jonathan will be mixing the remaining songs on the album. On this song in particular, Jonathan opted for the premix option because it gives him a further head start in the mixing process. Let's go to the mix. Okay, here we are back in Pro Tools. We use the vintage vibey setup from my drum set menu, choice B. Let's get a sense of the song and the raw tracks. Take a listen. And let's take a listen to the drum tracks I recorded. Let's solo those tracks up. Also, an important thing to point out, if you watch the last premixing video, I did the same thing. The raw drums, we have about 10, 12, 13 tracks, something like that. Just for the sake of this video, I went ahead and printed those down to a single stereo track, so I got a good balance, the balance you're hearing here. No extra plugins, no extra gear processing, nothing like that, just straight print. Makes it easier to work with in the video. Okay, so let's talk about the song a little bit. This song has kind of an adult contemporary, easygoing vibe, so we're not going to want to hype the drums or exaggerate anything like we would in a rock or a pop song. Whatever we do to the drums, we want to be left with the impression that we're listening to a balanced live kit. Probably needs to be pretty dry and up close, processed just enough to highlight the articulation of the playing that moves the groove forward. I'm not going to be multing tracks or adding samples to anything. I don't even really hear a need to add much compression to the individual tracks. I think a lot of getting this job right is going to rest in getting a nice balance between the mics and then using bus processing to kind of tie it all together. Alright, let's listen to the results. Here's the track again with the premix drums in this time. Let's mute these and let's put in the original drums with the track. Take a listen. Okay, you can note that despite the more transparent nature of the mixing approach we did on this song, the difference is still pretty drastic. I don't think anything sounds out of place, but it definitely sounds a lot better, a lot cleaner, and more in the style of the song, ready to go. Okay, now let's review what Jonathan's actually going to get from me. He will get all 13 mics, or however many there were, of the original raw recorded drums. And then in addition, he's going to get these 3 pre-mixed stereo stems. And they are, in order, the close mics, the distant mics, and 1 stem for the effects. In this case, the only effect we're using is a simple mono reverb, to which I bust the snare and toms to help give the kit a bit more depth. I chose a mono verb because I still want most of the kit's stereo width and ambience to come from the room mics and not from effects, because we're trying to make this a real honest type of drum performance. Again, something I should mention is that these 3 tracks are all printed at relative levels. That means that when you bring these pre-mixed tracks into your DAW and set the faders for each at 0 dB, you're going to achieve the same balance between the close mics, room mics, and effects that I intended when I was mixing it. The client then can change that balance at any time as desired by making things a little bit more dry or turning the rooms up to make it a little bit more ambient. It's up to them. That's it. Another example of how pre-mixing is a great session add-on to help you get the most out of your drum tracks. See you soon.